Good evening. This is the CBS Evening News. Dan Rather reporting. The subway vigilante. Those words applied to a slender 39-year-old electronics technician from New York. They triggered international controversy ever since December of 1984. That's when Bernhard Goetz used an unlicensed revolver to shoot 4 young men on a subway. Goetz went on trial charged with 13 counts, including attempted murder. Today, in its 4th day of deliberation, after a 7-week trial, a jury brought in its verdict. Our coverage begins with Richard Roth.
His lawyers had called Bernhard Goetz a decent citizen with a right to fight back against crime on a New York subway, and the argument convinced the jury. The jury convicted Goetz only on a felony weapons charge, possession of the pistol he used to shoot 4 black teenagers he said were about to rob him. All 4 were wounded in the shooting 2.5 years ago, one of the young men paralyzed for life. And though Goetz had admitted in a confession to police that he wanted to murder the youths when he fired 5 times, his argument in court was that the shooting was justifiable self-defense.
He was very pleased. It was as if a great burden was lifted off of him, and he's trying to figure out how he can go back to living a normal life.
What's he going to do tonight, Mr. Sloan? Will he move from New York?
At the present moment, he has no plans except to go back to work, which is something he hasn't been able to do for 2.5 years.
There will be criticism and there will be support, the judge told the jury after their decision was in. He called this case one of the most difficult of our time and added its emotion will last beyond this verdict. Richard Roth, CBS News, New York.
More than anything, the Bernhard Goetz case symbolized fear and frustration.
I'm sitting on a train, 4 kids come to me, and I got a weapon, I'm going to use it.
The American preoccupation with crime, the rage against the system of police and courts and prisons that seemingly tipped the scales in favor of the bad guys.
The public has become increasingly frustrated with putting the criminals' rights first. And so we're seeing in community after community the actual public and the victims taking criminal justice matters in their own hands.
Justice in their own hands, just like in the movies. Goetz touched a nerve. Charles Bronson made them cheer in the theaters. The so-called subway vigilante was life imitating art.
Because any way that could have prevented that, I would have, but it was me or him, because he had a gun on me.
Just a month after Goetz, a 68-year-old Chicago man shoots and kills a teenage gunman trying to rob him. A case of self-defense, say police, another case of justice in the hands of the public. But how much of this justice is justifiable?
People like Goetz have apparently come to the conclusion that they're not being protected elsewhere and there's no one else between them and adversity but them.
If the police aren't doing enough, then neither are the prisons. In California, outraged citizens protest the arrival of a paroled rapist in their city, and he's literally hounded from town to town. More fear, more frustration. And in New York this month, more rage. A woman is attacked by a knife-wielding man. The alleged assailant, captured by neighbors, has a record of 10 previous arrests, everything from robbery to rape.
And when you find a very frightened, frustrated public, the gut reaction is aggression, and that's what you find in the Bernhard Goetz case.
But some experts in the criminal justice system say that while the fear and frustration is understandable, it is also irrational. At a time when some people wish to put more of justice in their own hands, all the numbers indicate that crime is on a downward trend. What's really on the increase, say the experts, is fear. Jerry Bowen, CBS News, Los Angeles.
President Reagan again today sought to